doing a bit of work with Bankstown. I've done some work in the past with Western Cricket Club. So what I'm going to present to you today is not necessarily all about cricket. It's what I believe are the essential skills you need to know and try to grasp a bit of an understanding about if you want to allow yourself to play at the very best level you can. Now that best level might be playing, 5th grade in a Sydney competition, or it might be playing 1st grade, or it might be playing for New South Wales, or going on to play for Australia. What I'm going to talk about today is exactly what I would talk about with Australian players. New South Wales players, grade players, school players, or academies, emerging blues, whatever. Before I start, I always like to show this little movie, and then I'll ask a few questions.
Glare of pro football's biggest spectacle, the Super Bowl. No quarterback has ever matched Pittsburgh's Terry Bradshaw.
I can say that the tougher the game, the more relaxed and confident I was in big games. The bigger the game, the better. The real secret to me was that it is only a game. You've got NFL films every corner of the end zone. You got 100,000 people. You got hours of preparation. You got all these things going for you. You're playing in the biggest game in the world, and when it all boils down to, it's just a game. And when I was able to separate all the other things and say, hey, we're just going to block and tackle and throw football around and try to score points, and it's just a game. Don't make it any more than that. It's just a game. And always play your game. Don't let the situation dictate to you. You dictate to it.
Terry Bradshaw played in 4 Super Bowls, and his Steelers won them all. Twice he was the game's MVP. When you go to the Super Bowl the first time, you have 27 other teams trying to knock you off, and to go back again is saying something, but to go back 4 times is really saying something, and you have to take your hat off. I don't think there'll be another quarterback able to do that again. The pressure of big games only seemed to stimulate Terry Bradshaw. Bradshaw's powerful right arm projected Pittsburgh to dizzying heights, and in tight situations, he never seemed to lose his grip on the game or the football.
I held it differently, I guess, than most. As you can see, I had my finger on the tip of the football, and I had a wide hand, and I felt like I could control the football from tip to tip. I just naturally went to the top of the football, and I threw the javelin in high school, and you grip it like this. But when the ball releases and you snap it, then that's the last finger that leaves the football anyway. And I always felt like it was like this finger like a whip.
What did anyone pick up? What did he say? Sorry? Yeah. Just a game. Don't make it any more. Once you've got to play your own game, don't let the game dictate to you, you dictate to it. Now, how much better would we perform on the cricket field, or the rugby union field, or in exams, HSC, how much better would we perform, do you think, if we had that type of attitude and philosophy going into those things? Much better. Because there's no pressure. There's no pressure with what he's saying there. Just go out, we're going to block, we're going to tackle, we're going to throw the football. If you're a cricketer, you're going to go out, if you're a batsman, watch the ball and hit the ball. If you're fielding, watch the ball, pick it up, throw it in, catch it, bowl, get the spot on the pitch. We make it very, very complicated. Now, when Terry Bradshaw was sitting in high school in America at your age, I don't think he would have had that approach to sport. He would have had the approach that a lot of us have. Oh, it's so important. I've got to make sure I do this. I've got to make sure I do that. And from that comes anxiety, pressure, and that causes us not to have flow in sport. And this is what people talk about. Oh, you're just going to get in that flow state. So, how am I going to help you understand this a bit better? I'm going to cover some topics, and I'm going to cover them fairly quickly. I'm going to cover motivation. I'm going to cover goal setting, self-belief and confidence, concentration. I'll change the word about concentration when we get to that. Anxiety and arousal control. I'm going to wrap it all up with a skill called imagery. So, let's get started.